All right, stakeholders have decried what they call the federal government's increasing militarization of banditry in the country. Also, Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi has been expressing fears about the seeming infiltration of herdsmen by elements of the Boko Haram terrorists. Let's deepen this discussion now as we're joined by Sheikh Gumi right now. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight. Let me start with the recent statement that you made that President Buhari must appease Fulanis before he leaves office. Exactly what kind of appeasement do you mean, and how should this appeasement happen?
Okay, who is quoting me saying that? I can't remember saying something like that recent.
That you made that the Fulani herders should be treated the same way that Niger Delta militants have been treated. And this statement was also part of what you said.
Oh, okay, it's not appeasement. What we are saying, what we're noticing now is a revolt from herdsmen because of what everybody has been saying now, that they are neglected, they are marginalized. I'm just seeing central banks saying that they have disbursed 1 trillion naira on this anchor borrowers program, and I'm telling you, not 1 naira of that goes to the herdsmen too. And they are like Nigerians, they suffer the same inflation we suffer, they suffer the same economic downtown, and nobody is helping them or assisting them. In the conferences we have today, everybody, even the authorities, are saying they are really marginalized and neglected. In fact, if they are second-class Nigerians, it's the herdsmen. So what we are saying, let's just be fair to them. I think they will drop their weapons.
And just for some clarification, Sheikh, are you referring to those who are carrying out this act as herdsmen or bandits or terrorists? Do you classify them as terrorists? They are holding the nation to ransom. They kill people for money. They are terrorizing people. Do you still refer to them as herdsmen, or should we call them kidnappers or terrorists? How do you classify them?
Yes, they are committing crime. Definitely they are committing crime. But we can see that crime, if you read sociology, that situation can lead people to commit crime. In America now, we have seen how people are going on a spree of killing people. It all has a background reason. As sociologists, people should understand why are herdsmen that we know for centuries, we have lived with them peacefully, suddenly are taking arms against the society. It's very important to look at it scientifically, intellectually, not just what people are spreading about it. It's more than that. And we have seen this agitation in the northeast with Boko Haram, and now we see it in the southeast with the IPOB and Eastern Network Security Network. They are all agitations that need intellectual analysis and see a way out. The Niger Delta was dealt with because they had a ministry, they had a budget, they had everything. So it was a lot of militants were rehabilitated, and they are now even leaders in the area. Some are even chiefs. Something like that, I think we need to do for these agitating groups in Nigeria.
Sheikh Gumi, you just agreed that these people are criminals taking up arms against the state, but you also want them, you want the government to create a nomadic ministry for them, a ministry for criminals. What exactly is your point, and how do you guarantee that when government provides this, whatever it is for them, that they will actually, drop their arms against the state?
Yes, I always like to give a similitude with the Niger Delta because it's the perfect example. They were kidnapping, killing, and doing everything, vandalizing. These are criminalities, and yet the government erected or established a ministry for them with all the necessary things to rehabilitate them. Just exactly. I'm not saying we should do something out of the ordinary. These people were marginalized. Nobody has said they were not marginalized. Why is their schools? Why is their hospitals? Why is their roads? Why is their water supply? Nothing they get from the Nigerian budget. Not just today, for centuries. So why wouldn't we just look? And how guarantee, what guarantees that? Because we spoke with them, these people, we spoke with them, and they told us their grievances, and they told us the way out. And we communicated that to the local governments, but it's something which needs the central government to come in and chip in and see how they can ameliorate their suffering and convince them to drop their arms. They are ready. And we have seen, like one commander in Shinkafi area, who is called Turji, he has released all his victims, and he has repented from being, what do you call it, all this criminality. So the area now is peaceful. So you see, through dialogue, we can get peace restored back. We hope so.
Okay, Sheikh, why a Ministry of Nomadic Affairs to address their grievances? We already have a Ministry of Agriculture that deals with, all of that. So why a separate ministry for them? I also want to ask you about allegations of some elements in the military being complicit. We had the prelate of the Methodist Church of Nigeria who alluded to that. He's not the first person mentioning that. What do you know about this, since you interact with these people and you understand them to a certain level? Do we have elements in the Nigerian military that are complicit? We hear the government talk about sponsors. What exactly are we dealing with here, Sheikh?
Yes, you see, the banditry now you are facing is an industry. They have informants, they have people of all categories working with them. It's becoming a big industry. But now we can break the cycle by getting these herdsmen, which are the foot soldiers, and they get a meager amount from it. And we understand most of it even goes in buying weapons. So if we block our borders, stop drugs coming in and weapons, they won't have anywhere to go. They depend solely on people outside. So they are actually definitely people supporting this movement. We have to look at it. And we should not also forget foreign interest in Nigeria, because these areas where this banditry is perennial, there's a lot of resources, mineral resources there. And unfortunately, Nigeria, we are not exploiting them. And foreigners are interested in what we have in the country. So they can be a cause for destabilizing the region.
Let's get some clarity because the NDDC, the Niger Delta Development Commission, was actually created by the federal government about 20 odd years ago to address the challenges within that region as a whole. Then you have the amnesty program that was targeted at those, who had some kinds of grievances against, how they perceive they are being treated within that region. Exactly what are you saying? Are you saying that the government should provide an NDDC-like ministry for the herdsmen, or some kind of amnesty? What exactly are you talking about? Briefly, if you can.
Yes, it's a package. It's a package. There are a lot of them who have committed crimes, but they are ready to drop their guns. But they fear they will be subsequently arrested. So this is stopping them from surrendering. So if there's an amnesty, it will encourage a lot of them. Like we have seen now in Boko Haram, a lot of them are dropping down their weapons, surrendering themselves for rehabilitation. Such a similar thing can happen. The Northeastern Commission, or whatever it is, like what they did for the Boko Haram, the herdsmen need something like that too. The government should come in, why we need to rehabilitate them, and their reparation for their loss, and the victims of their criminality. They all need to be, we need to reconcile societies, because this is going into something which is beyond what we saw, the infiltration of terrorists in them. And we fear people who are committing crime and they know it's crime, but now if you turn them into fundamentalists, now they'll be committing worse crime than that and thinking that they are worshipping or doing God's job.
Thank you so much.
We cannot fold our arms and wait until yes.
Because they do have families, and we wonder how they cannot value lives. But thank you so much, Sheikh Gumi, for being on the news tonight with us. We do appreciate your time.